Y'all know her? Somebody know her?
Wow.
Somebody get your girl.
Thank you. Tell my mama I made it.
Here we go. Okay, Fox News won't stop running this, so here we go. It all started when Donald Trump made a visit to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta.
So can I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken? I'm going to take care of the customers.
The Chick-fil-A employees acted like Chick-fil-A employees and everything went smoothly, at least until this one decided to come for Candace Owens' spot.
Here, I'm proud of you to meet you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we've also knocked doors for you in the past, or your past re-election bid, and when you ran the first time. Yes,
Wow.
I was interning for the GAGOP at that time.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
wow.
doing a lot for your tax credit reform bill and everything like that.
Well, we
So,
took
yes.
care of those colleges and
Sure
universities.
did. Much better than mine did. So I'm parking right This is more house. This is more expansion. So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. Okay, 4 p.m. We do 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Now, first of all, have y'all been to a Chick-fil-A? They got the nicest employees in the game. They treat me like I used to be president, and I walk in with jeans with holes in them that aren't intentional. Now, if this would have happened at I don't know, Steak and Shake, at a Waffle House, the Cookout, or the Varsity, then it would be notable. Things got real, and by real, I mean fake after the fact. The woman who hugged Trump was revealed to be Michaelah Montgomery, who runs a conservative group, was a Republican Party intern, and a former city director for Blexit, as in Candace Owens' Blexit. Now, what are the chances that she would be there? Now, one of two things happened. Either Trump just dropped into a Chick-fil-A and just happened to run into a black woman who runs a conservative group, was a Republican Party intern and a former Blexit city director, or this was staged. Now, if I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that it was option A, well, then you probably wouldn't want to use the video on loop of the woman who was a Republican Party intern, runs a conservative group, and is a former Blexit city director, because, you know, it looks bad. I'm forced to assume nothing but that it was staged. And be honest, I'm not even mad at Trump for this. I mean, presidents and candidates do this kind of staged activity all of the time. Biden does it. I think it's odd the continued assertion about young black people, though.
Very interesting as you see black support eroding from Joe Biden. This is connecting with black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city.
That I do find odd because this just seems to happen over and over and over again, targeting young black people.
The mugshot has breathed new life into the Trump campaign and broadened his appeal to black Americans.
Because if the support was there, right, if the support in the community was there, you wouldn't need to be talking about it all the time, now would you? You wouldn't. No, kind of like your boy who won't shut up about, hey, I went to the club last night and it was crazy. Every time you're not there to see it. But it's Fox News.
When I take my kids now to Chick-fil-A, which I believe President Trump called God's chicken today in his Atlanta stop
You know what,
off,
Clay,
which
hold
was
on. We're going to show a little bit from that.
Yes.
From Donald Trump buying everybody milkshakes and chicken at Chick-fil-A. Watch.
Blowing this out as if it's anything other than the sham that it really is. Wait, what's that? Oh, they put her on TV? They would. They'll let black people embarrass themselves anytime.
The talking points were lies. I mean, who was the racist that was there? The people at the fundraiser, Tim Scott was there, Vivek Ramaswamy, the owner of the Jets, Woody Johnson was there, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, Steve Wynn. Like, these are
You know what he's
folks.
saying, right? Because apparently the people that you just listed on that list, they're all black, but they're not Democrats.
Sorry, that was the wrong clip of black person embarrassing themselves on Fox News.
How the media can warp the perception of an opinion or a person. Because, like I said, to think that these students who attend these illustrious institutions aren't smart enough to make their own decisions, so much so that they would only show support for Trump because he bought chicken sandwiches and milkshakes.
It's offensive.
That in itself is the most disturbing part of it all, especially when you think about the fact that it was mainly urban media outlets that were doing everything in their power to turn other black people against these young black kids who simply were not shy to explore other options.
Oh, the media manipulating the narrative. You mean like this? Or like this? Or like this? Man, the way the media has been weaponized against Trump is wild. I mean, it really is.
It's so incredible, and I think you hit it on the head. By the way, the former president, gave a lot of funding to HBCUs.
Oh, HBCU funding, you say. And you saved yourself by saying a lot of funding, because you couldn't have said more funding than Biden. You couldn't have said unprecedented funding, so I'm just going to go with a lot of funding. I'm just going to go with a lot of funding. Way to clean that up.
Traditionally, Republicans don't do well in black America, but a lot of young black Americans like the former president. What is it about him?
I think, and this is a sentiment I get a lot coming from the young people themselves, is that they feel like he's honest. They feel like this is somebody who, while we might not agree with how he says things, how he goes about things, at least he's telling us what it is.
Did she say he was honest? Now I get it. Now I see why the line to get paid by Trump just keeps getting longer. Now I totally understand it, because I look and see that line. Wow, it's people waiting on checks for decades. I'm not going to go into business with this person. It is enough lawsuits for people trying to get their money from Trump to fill one of his hotels that his name had to get taken off of. But now I understand why he keeps finding people to go into business with him, Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
Michaelah, what has Biden done for our community? What has he done for black America?
Oh, this should be good.
Well, he locked up a lot of people that look like me, and they're still sitting in jail waiting for, justice, an appeal of some sort.
You see the internet cut out? The internet cut out. It was allergic to the bullshit.
So when it comes to what Joe Biden has done for black America, if we look specifically at his record as a senator.
You do know that he's president, right?
It wasn't something that benefited us at all. If anything, one could argue that he dedicated his entire senatorial career
he was president
to disrupting the way of life, for black people. He didn't want black kids going to the same school as his kids. He didn't want black people walking on the sidewalk along with his mother and grandmother. So the fact that we ignore these things that were said on the Senate floor, like this is somebody who passed legislation with the sole intent of oppressing a certain community. And we're going to act like that didn't happen, or we're going to act like it can be overshadowed
as president
by somebody's comments a few years down the line that made us feel some type of way. Feeling some type of way is completely different when you can feel a certain type of way at home. There's people who are, as of right now, spending the rest of their lives in jail because, Joe Biden thought that they deserved it, as if there isn't retribution. And then you had somebody like Trump come in and give us the First Step Act.
Oh, now we on Trump.
To try and right the wrongs that were done with this 3 strikes rule, and nobody's talking about that.
This is what's wild about Trump supporters when they talk about race. They don't want to talk about the racial discrimination lawsuit. No, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about the racism with the casinos, when him and Ivanka would come in and they hide all the black people. No. We don't want to talk. We're talking about him as president. But with Biden, you want to bring up the 94 crime bill. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You want to bring up the 94 crime bill, but you definitely definitely do not want to open the book when it comes to Donald Trump's history when it comes to race. The only way you can have a legitimate conversation that lasts longer than 60 seconds about these two men on race is if you compare Biden's whole 80-plus year life of possibilities of missteps when it comes to black people in 4 years from Trump. You know how bad that is? 4 years from Trump against 80-plus years from Biden. That's the only way you can have any sort of legitimate conversation about the two of those guys on race. And Trump might have been worse in the 4 years. I'm not even going to give you that one.
Thank you! Tell my mama I made it!